Hello viewers, it is a crisp and clear morning here in the beautiful Flinders Ranges of South Australia. We've got a great day of four-wheel driving lined up for you. This is your 4x4 and I'm Simon Christie.
I'm Danny Sparks Cousins.
Now Danny, you've put on a fantastic itinerary throughout the days already. We've got another great day of driving. What's up first?
We've got a lot of driving today, Simon. We're doing the Echo Camp Backtrack Self-Drive. It's one of the more adventurous drives here at Arkaroola. We'll have a bit of a chat with Doug Sprigg and then we'll get out there.
All right guys, join us for another fantastic episode. Four-wheel driving out here in the beautiful Australian countryside. We'll see you shortly. This series of Your 4x4 is proudly presented by ARB 4x4 Accessories, Piranha Off-Road Products, Carryboy 4x4 Canopies and Accessories, Berrima Diesel, Light Force Performance Lighting, Brown Davis Automotive and Kaymar 4-wheel drive products.
Located in the beautiful northern Flinders Ranges, surrounded by rugged mountain views, lies Arkaroola, South Australia's first legally protected wilderness sanctuary. Featuring a variety of flora and fauna, as well as geological landmarks as far as the eye can see, Arkaroola also offers many attractions for tourists, including astronomy, four-wheel drive tracks, and plenty of amenities and accommodation options. Second generation proprietor Doug Sprigg was more than happy to show us around and give the crew a tour of the land and history of this very special place.
I'm Doug Sprigg and this is the Arkaroola Wilderness Sanctuary in the north end of the Flinders Ranges, South Australia. Arkaroola is a pretty special place with very diverse geology which lends itself to very diverse plant life and animal life, and we're trying to preserve that, and tourism helps with that process.
We rolled into Arkaroola last night, which is a really nice place to stay.
We don't sort of class ourselves as a tourist resort, but the motel complex is a life support system while you're here.
Camped up here last night. Well, not camping, we're in the cabin, so we're pretty spoilt.
One of my big highlights was getting to talk to Mr. Sprigg. Now, there is a man and a half, I've got to tell you. He's an astronomer, a geologist, a light aircraft pilot, a pioneer in this area. It's absolutely amazing.
My parents started Arkaroola as a fauna and flora reserve and geological monument, and second generation here. I hope I'm not buggering it up, but it's all good fun. The goal is to preserve it for future generations. We don't think that we own the place. It'd be like fleas argument who owns the dog they live on. So we have a not-for-profit entity that will see it go on into the future.
Today so far has been a terrific day. An excellent morning starting at the Arkaroola village.
We've got a diverse landscape, very rugged end of the Flinders Ranges, and it's arid lands. We've got climax vegetation groups that go back to about 15,000 years ago, so we've got remnant plants that we're trying to keep and animals that are doing well, like the yellow-footed rock wallaby, that were on the brink of extinction a good number of years ago.
We headed out this morning on a private track owned by the village here called Echo Camp Backtrack.
The Echo Camp Backtrack is a fairly rugged one. We give people a key for the day, and if they don't bring the key back, we go looking for them because we want the key back.
So it's basically a self-drive for extreme four-wheel drives, which we've been doing. They've got a full set of notes which give you points of interest to stop at. and places to see along the way.
And it's just a brilliant little track which goes around the northern region of the setup here. And it goes through plenty of river crossings, gullies, a couple of nice little climbs and pinches up out of the creek beds and takes you around through past water holes, which some have got water and most haven't. But that's the nature of the territory up here.
The first place we stopped this morning is the Echo waterhole, and it's a dry waterhole most of the time. Amazing scenery. We talked last night about how the plates and the seabeds come up on its angle, and when you start to look through the rocks, you can actually start to visualise how the seabeds were flat and how they've all been pushed up over millions and millions of years. So it's an amazing place to look at.
Everyone had enough of the swim? Oh yeah.
Now along that drive we had some beautiful gorges. Scenery was amazing. It's hard to imagine what was once a sea floor bed is now erupted into great gorges, which is why Arkaroola is so famous here.
To understand the structure, which Doug Sprigg gave us a lecture on how it was actually created millions and millions of years ago, to go out there and you can really relate to the landscape as to what Doug said, just massive forces pushing up enormous mountain ranges. It's just astounding to see.
Echo Camp's a self-guided tour and most people take a day, but you can get around in about 4 hours. You need fairly serious four-wheel drives. You need the vehicle to get to see the scenery. There's softer four-wheel drive tracks, but Arkaroola is a pretty rocky bit of ground, so none of the tracks are particularly smooth.
This area is rough, it's rugged, it's dry, but we had an absolute ball this morning.
So we try to cater for a wide range of people, but the important thing is that people can get around. If you've got a full drive here, you can do some amazing exploring. It's a fantastic country for full drives.
ARB, Australia's largest manufacturer and distributor of 4x4 accessories, has everything you need for your next off-road adventure. From bull bars and suspension to recovery gear and lights, we've got four-wheel drives of all shapes and sizes covered. Whether you're heading off the bitumen for a weekend getaway or preparing for that epic round Australia trip, enjoy a safer, more comfortable journey with ARB. To order a copy of our free catalogue, visit our website or give us a call.
Sometimes the front runners lead from behind, and when it comes to protecting your rear, Kaymar are world leaders in rear end protection and tow bar combinations. The just released Prado 150 is no exception, with a bar that is designed to follow the car's lines and work with your sensors and factory camera. For the best in rear end protection, trust Kaymar. It's a statement, not just an accessory, but the toughest of 4x4 trips. For more info, go to kaymar.com.au.
Got a tough 4x4 tourer and enjoy hitting the tracks? Odds are you'll need some serious underguard protection and a heavy-duty long-range tank. Brown Davis Automotive offer aluminised steel underguard protection plates and long-range tanks for most popular makes and models. They're designed and developed right here in Australia and have been tested to the extreme right across this great country. Remember Brown Davis Automotive. It's a trusted and family-owned Aussie business and proud manufacturers of high-end tanks, underguards and more.
Got a ute? Need more space? Need it to be safe and secure? And of course stylish? Then look no further than Carryboy. Designed with the true lines of your vehicle in mind and the ultimate in functionality, a Carryboy canopy will transform the look and performance of your utility. For more information on why Carryboy are the world leaders in canopy design, durability and practicality, visit carryboy.com.au.
Our first entry this week is this great looking Colorado, shown here on a fishing trip to Fraser Island. Next is this fully kitted out GU Patrol, pictured on a night run near Hotspur. This Navarra sure has seen plenty of the country. This shot was taken on the old Telegraph track in Cape York. What a great view! The GU was photographed in the Alpine National Park on a trip from Dargo to Lacola. And our last entry this week is this Mitsubishi Pajero, snapped on Queensland's beautiful Rainbow Beach.
If you've just seen your photo and you're the first to email danny@your4x4.com.au, then you've won yourself a Kaymar Centerpool recovery hitch and stubby holder, a Lightforce tack torch and stubby holder, and a $100 gift voucher from ARB. All entries go into the draw for a Carryboy slider tray, a DP chip plug and go pedal chip, and a Brown Davis long range fuel tank. For more information, visit your4x4.com.au.
So we've just driven ourselves into the Brachina Gorge and it's just magnificent, and there's water here.
Sounds like Bananarama, but it's Bananarama Gorge, and it's a beautiful gorge. It's got water in this section down here. Over the top, there's another section with even more water.
A few of us made our way up and over the top of the escarpment and over back down the backside of it to another water area.
And according to Doug, this water goes for over a kilometre normally down the end there. It's about half a kilometre at the moment because the place is so incredibly dry. And yet it's beautifully green as we're walking around looking at things. Magic spot.
And they estimate some of the depths through here are anywhere between 20 to 30 feet of water. You just have to look at some of the walls and you can see where the water's been and rushing through. It'd be a heck of a noise with the water coming through here, and it's absolutely magnificent. I think everyone's enjoying themselves. We've all been sort of sitting around and having a chat about the area.
Is this not absolutely spectacular? Listen to that, we've got a 9 out of 10 echo here. It is absolutely fantastic. The rock formations are brilliant, just like he told us all about.
And it's definitely one of those places you really want to come to.
The Echo Camp backtrack spends more time in the gorges and getting to a couple of really lovely water holes, and then going up in the eastern escarpment of the ranges so you can see out to Lake Frome, a salt lake about 50 kilometres from the range front, and into the Strzelecki Desert.
So we drove our four-wheel drives up to a famous lookout point where you could see all the outback of Lake Frome. Just to take in just the gorges. It was real high and rocky, but out the back you could just see it was just flat for days. And it was something really to see. The cameras don't do it any justice.
The self-guided tour is really, really good. It's something you definitely must be doing when you're up here.
We allowed about 4 to 5 hours to do a real nice scenic route. We're in no rush.
It's a big circular track, so you end up coming back to the village.
It's important to make sure you look after the place when you're up here, but they've done it really, really well. And the fact that they've got it all set out with your pace notes and your places of interest to stop at, to look at.
They do state before you start the drive that you should be an experienced four-wheel driver on this track.
Most of the tracks are not that overly challenging.
You do need ground clearance, and obviously you do need low range.
If you're coming up this way, you definitely want to make sure you've got a bit of gear on your four-wheel drive to start with.
A well set up vehicle does the trip no problem at all, but just a brilliant little drive.
What a great spot to visit.
It was just beautiful, easy driving, and the backdrop to the drive was amazing. You spent half the time looking out the window.
The creeks, the great big river reb gums, the massive gorges, they're just an awesome, awesome place.
And a great thing about it, guys, is it's not that hard to get here. It's really easy to find. The location is spectacular. The weather's beautiful. We're having a fantastic day. You've got to come out and see this place.
An amazing area up here, well and truly worthwhile coming to see when you're up this way.
So we've just had some lunch. We're about to leave Arkaroola. We're heading back down south.
We're about to head off back to Blinman, where we actually stopped and had lunch yesterday. We're going to swing back through, pick up a bit of firewood tonight.
We're actually camping out down at Brachina Gorge.
It's about a 3-hour drive, pretty casual drive, and we'll still have the tyre pressures let down a bit.
We're going to have a ball. The afternoon is absolutely magnificent, so perfect weather for driving.
We stopped off and picked up some firewood. We pre-arranged that through the local tourist bureau. So we gave them a call and told them what we wanted enough timber for a fire, and they put us in touch with one of the local sheep stations. It's pretty patchy up here, trying to earn a living from sheep farming, and a lot of them try to augment their income with a bit of tourism, be it farm stay accommodation or tracks that you pay to go on to use, or indeed they'll do other things to help tourists with their journey. So what they did is they organised to cut a load of timber for us. There's a couple of good things about that. Firstly, it's sustainably sourced, so you're not just pulling over on the side of the road with a chainsaw, hacking away, and you're providing also an income for the local economy. And that's important when you are travelling through these parts to try and support the local businesses. You can bring a load of firewood and cart it around from the service station everywhere that you go. Or what we've done is just organised to pick it up locally and give somebody a job.
We'll pull up at camp and we should make it just before sunset. And it'll be an unreal sunset again. Just have a bit of a fire and just reminisce on what we've done today. It's going to be a great day and I can't wait to get there.
Our question for the experts this week comes from Al Roberts, and Al wants to know, are there any special tips or equipment for driving in soft sand? Well, Al, there sure is. Let's check in with the experts at Carryboy for the answer.
When driving on sand, what you want to keep in mind is that you need to lower your tyre pressure to suit the softness of the sand, and that'll also depend on the weight that you're carrying on the vehicle, the type of vehicle that you're running, the type of tyres that you've got. Very importantly also, you need to carry a tyre deflator with you so you can deflate your tyres, and also an air compressor to put air back into them once you're finished. Another good item you might carry when you're driving on sand is a traction board. So if you do get stuck, you can dig it out, put the traction boards underneath and get the car out.
For asking that question, you've won yourself a Piranha carry bag and beanie, a DP chip hamper featuring a keyring, pen, cap, plush toy and stubby holder, and a Brown Davis tub seal repair kit. All Ask an Expert entries go into the draw for an ARB twin motor compressor, a set of Lightforce Genesis driving lamps, a Travel Buddy oven and a Piranha tilt fridge slide combo. For more information, visit your4x4.com.au.
Warning, beware of imitation lights. Only Lightforce performance lighting guarantees Australian made, no leaking or melting, quality output and 3-year warranty. Unlike their imitators, Lightforce lights feature peerless construction, leak-proof seals, impact-proof lenses and filters, vibration and fracture-resistant mounts and housing, and stainless steel fittings, outshining and outlasting their impersonators in every way. Often imitated, never replicated. Visit lightforce.com for the full range of authentic Lightforce lights.
Do you want better performance from your modern diesel 4x4? Then a DP chip is your answer for safe, reliable and enduring power gains. Backed by Australia's premier diesel workshop, a DP chip offers increased power and torque output better drivability and can even improve economy. With 24/7 customer support, a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 6-year warranty, plus a matched new vehicle engine and driveline warranty, there is no other choice for safe, reliable and enduring diesel performance gains. Check dpchip.com for full details. If you drive a four-wheel drive with or without a dual battery kit, then it's time to upgrade. Modern vehicles and modern battery technologies require smart electronics, and the Piranha Off-Road Products DBE 140 dual battery controller has all the smart grunt you will need packed into an affordable and tiny package. Priced at just $170, the Piranha DBE 140 is the smart choice in dual battery management. For more information on how you can stay charged, visit piranhaoffroad.com.au.
HEMA Maps have been exploring Australia for over 30 years to craft the most accurate maps possible for getting off the beaten track. Always looking to take the road less travelled, HEMA Maps uses a unique hands-on process to map Australia and constantly update their range of innovative navigation products. With the most reliable maps, GPS navigation systems and mobile apps, HEMA Maps empowers four-wheel drive touring and camping adventures like never before. HEMA Maps, prepared to explore.
We left Arkaroola this afternoon. It was a bit of a heavy heart because it's probably my favourite part of the Gammon Ranges, or the extended Flinders Ranges. It's a lot more arid and it's just a beautiful part of Australia. We headed on down to the more temperate parts, so we're down here now at Brachina Gorge.
Somebody else was climbing into a cave today. We're going to send Son up there as the...
a decoy?
That's right.
Young people should go in first.
I reckon. Well, here we are at Teamsters Campground, heading down towards Wilpena Pound. We're getting into some of the thicker, the best parts of this trip so far.
This is a typical evening. We're out camping, we're cooking up our dinner. A lot of people ask us about why we have the setup we have and how it works and the ins and outs of it.
It's interesting because, we all have our vehicles set up and we talk so much about that when we're preparing and what we would do and how we've got to allow for fuel and all that stuff. But probably sometimes we don't talk too much about the campsite. You can see here our campsite's on the top of a Nissan Patrol, and it's, I think, a pretty proven one. We've had this up in the Kimberley. Not only up in the Kimberley, we were there with a little 6-8-week-old baby. So it's definitely had a good workover. In fact, there's even some baby things still up in the roof topper because we've hardly used it since. We've got a lot of other vehicles to choose from. So look, I think the thing that I like about the roof topper is that you are up off the ground. You can pull up in some pretty uninhabitable spots that you may not be able to put a swag or anything on if it's really rocky. But at the same token, I've got my dad here and got son who are all in the business and they're swagging it tonight. So we've got the swags, the roof topper, we've got everything.
The best of accommodation. All the comforts, rooftop, house, 2 swags down below, nice and comfortable. As long as you set up properly, isn't it?
Our preferred setup is a Oz tent, 30-second tent, and we use the smallest of the Oz tents. It's an RV1, just enough room inside for 2 inflatable sleeping mats. We like that because in terms of its length, it packs up conveniently on top of the roof rack. It just fits perfectly in the ARB roof rack. And to bring it out, we just put a sheet down on the ground, just keep any rising damp coming up, and it's also nice to take your shoes and socks off and not traipse gravel and stuff into bed. And then the 30-second tent goes up, and because it's so small, it's got very little windage, and because of that, we don't have to peg it down. So it really is ultra quick. I think it's probably quicker to set up a 30-second tent than it is to roll out a swag and peg it in and get the cords all lined up.
Burn it, baby.
I also got the weather report.
I also got some vodka.
One thing I find out here when I'm camping is that even though we come out a fair bit, I mean we do this a fair few times a year, I still find that if I'm taking up the back of my ute all the time with all my camp gear, if you leave it all in there permanently, of course it makes holding anything else really, really hard. So one thing I find is being able to set things up quickly. I've got a space case that holds all my cooking gear, whether it's a cooker, knives and forks, plates, they're all in together in a nice spot. It's even got a little bit of my lighting to light inside the tent and also outside. Next to it, of course, the fridge. Easy to lift in and out, and like the space case, it's all tied down, so any of the roughest tracks, everything's tied down nice and tight. And then of course, lately I've made myself a little storage unit at the end. This was mainly so I could have all the switches, gauges for the dual battery, find out how much my fridge is drawing from it. I've also then got the compressor in here so that I can pump up my tyres when we let them down. Also a couple of USB outlets so I can charge my phone. Down here I've also got my Travel Buddy oven built in nicely. Worked that I had the room to do that. And then at the back of that, I could hold all my recovery gear, which I like to leave in there. And that's pretty much how I set up. Of course, pretty much from everything from the storage box all the way across can come out. Versatility is one thing I find really, really important when you're setting up the car.
Most people who, when they cook, use a gas burner or some sort of a gas flame. We typically don't use gas, and there's a good reason for that. The amount of gas that you'd have to carry to be away for an extended period of time would be in a 9-kilo bottle, or lots and lots of those little cartridges. We use a shellite-powered stove, which can also actually run on ordinary unleaded petrol. So consequently, 1 litre of fuel, or unleaded fuel, equals a massive amount of gas. So space is always important. We always remember the old Doctor Who's TARDIS thing. You can't make it bigger on the inside, so we're trying to get the maximum space we can. So our Coleman dual fuel stove, as I said, runs on shellite and it also runs on petrol. About 5 litres of shellite, probably about 5 weeks worth of camping. That's pretty damn impressive. We've also got water down over there. We've also got water over here. So we've got water for drinking and water for washing. When you're travelling around, you don't want to contaminate your drinking water with creek water, river water or bore water. You can make yourself very sick, ruin a really, really good holiday. There's about 60 litres of water under there and 20 litres of water here. So we keep the two as separate as we can, as best as we can. Very important. Now, a lot of people nowadays seem to want bigger fridges, and they always ask me about freezing compartments. You don't need a freezing compartment. This stuff here is cryovac. When you're doing a cryovac meal like this, you don't actually tear the packet open and shove it into a pot to cook it up. You dunk it in hot water. Now, if you're in the middle of the desert where water's an absolute scarcity, you can use that water to obviously heat up your meal, make a cup of tea, and then do the dishes. So you're trying to be really frugal on things, but you can cryovac your meat and it'll keep for about 14, 15 days without having to actually have it frozen. You can just have it in your ordinary fridge. That means you're going to use a hell of a lot less power out of your battery, your fridge isn't going to run as hard, and you can still keep meat and all those other good things you want to travel with without having to have a deep freezer.